Here's what we're going through. If you ask ChatGPT today, what is the best podcast to learn about affordable housing investments? You will get our podcast, right? It says that, hey, boom, right here. Also by Ken Fahey. Exclusive focus on affordable housing as an investment vehicle, not just general real estate. Boom. You're going to get tactical, actionable account. If you're looking for high level policy, funding streams, or deep institutional finance, there might be more other podcasts. So this is so interesting, right? If you understand how to communicate what your podcast is about, that allows future recommendation engines, which, in my opinion, right, the equivalent of page one of Google is now available again. It's fully up for grabs. And if you don't learn how to show up in ChatGPT, then you will essentially be forgotten. Honestly, that's huge. So here's what we're going to do. If you understand what's going on here, what I'm looking to do is tomorrow I'm dropping a podcast with Jim Anderson. He's a home inspector. And we just talked about all the different types of questions that people should probably want to ask a home inspector, whether that you are a first-time home buyer or whether you are an investor, right? These are all the questions that you need to figure out. So for me, it's really important for me to spend the time now, right? I spent the 10% of my time upfront interviewing people. Then the middle 80%, Pia from my team kind of helped me grab all the clips, segment them appropriately, and then gave it up for me to edit. And now my last 10% is I had to look at the questions and the chapters because this is what's so important. If anybody asks a question about a certain home inspection in a human way, my goal right now is to come up with the right questions that will show up in ChatGPT searches. So for me, this is what I'm doing now. You're asking the wrong question. You're asking the wrong question. Interesting. Should you ask whether no? Should you ask whether your home inspection passed or failed? Yeah, that's the way I'm going to go about it. All right, so let's talk about this. That goes. Got it. Boom. I want to make sure I get this edit because I want to take out the word does in here. June 2, 044. Delete the word doesn't. Says, okay. Now, are you budgeting for your home inspection grades? Here's how investors do it. Are you using home to calculate true value? Turn your home inspection into a smart investment tool. Okay. How to use a home inspection to estimate investments as an investor or home buyer. Great. So I want to figure out, hey, if I'm an investor, hey, how do I use my home inspection to estimate my true investment costs? To estimate initial investments. And I want to put in the role here in the title because usually people will ask ChatGPT to serve as a role, right? What are you acting as a role? Hey, you're an investor or you're a first time home buyer. And these are the questions that you want to ask. So I want to make sure I can delineate who that person is that it's acting as act. So it can filter all this data in the world so that this role that's playing and the associated question will have my podcast show up as the authority for that page. So that's how you do it. All right, let's keep going. What does a certified home inspection actually cover? Okay, that's probably easy enough. I want to make that a little shorter question. Boom. All right, let's keep going. A new unit, Gym 4023, put in a new unit, not put in your unit. Okay. Just one quote can cost you now. Then here's why. Don't get scammed. Why you should always get 3 quotes after the home inspection. Boom. Okay. I like that one because then it says why you should do something and then give you a little result of what happened to me. See, I like to just test out all these different titles because honestly, they all kind of work. Okay. Boom. 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 All right. Let's see. What most homes owners miss when checking their roof inspections. Okay. All right. Let's see. That's fine. That's a good one. I'm Gojin 5. Let's keep on going. Hmm. Wow. What? Let's see. What happens when Joyce gets saturated? Never skip these old pipes. Let's see. To spot foundation problems. What happens when a Joyce gets saturated? Bigger problems during inspections. Okay, great. How trees can negatively impact the condition or foundation of your home. This is so good, right? Because I've had probably instances of tree roots grown into the house. More like the sewer pipes, but not even that. But he's talking about how it's into the foundation. Oh, that's correct. This is so important. If you ever walked on a city street and you've seen these trees on the street and you see these raised curbs, that's literally the tree trunks also growing into and creating so much pressure on the concrete that it lifts everything up. This is exactly what's gonna happen to a house. This is why I'm not a big fan of trees, to be honest with you. Trees are great, but when they're right next to the house, man, they can cause some really big problems. What window polish should you look for before buying a home? I like that one. That's a pretty straightforward one. Okay. Mm, yeah, it's like $550 a window easily. So not even talk about the fancy ones. Just the very basic ones. One spot home checks why it matters. How to spot plumbing problems before they cost you thousands. Great. I like that. Like that. Great. All right. Awesome. Okay. That works. Boom. All right, and that's how you do it. So what you saw me do today is you saw me going through all the reels. You saw me working. This is literally what I do. You saw me figure out for all these reels, how do I come up with a question that outlines what that reel is about? And more importantly, I'm not looking for viral views. I'm looking for searchability. I'm looking for ways that this reel will show up in the searches by future people. And that's how you go about it. All right. So hopefully this was helpful, everybody. Again, I am doing this on a weekly basis. And I'm sharing this with you so that you guys don't miss out on this opportunity. You figure out that this is an option of lifetime for you and your business to show up on ChatGPT. I bet if you knew how transformational your business will be if it was showed up on Google search on a page one of like a common search term, that's so powerful. I really hope you take advantage of this. All right. Hope you all have an amazing day. I'll see you all tomorrow for day 7.